Okay, now we're going to bring the rest of the baby back in because we're up to the same stage. The only thing on the baby is I have already started some of the creases. As you can see, I put it inside the marks inside the lines and everything on this leg. And so now we also had added the veins. You're going to have veining here on the little wrist and on the fingers here and right here, and on this one as well. On the legs, I usually put one right here, one comes up here, some little veining right there and here, maybe on the little sides of the feet. Some people don't like to put veins, but I think it makes it look a whole lot more realistic. And right here. On the head, I've put veins. This is the first time I've put that much just to try to see how it looks, because I've seen it showing through some of the dolls' heads and it looks really nice. The reason why I put so much more red modeling than I normally do is for some reason when you root on the scalp, the layers, I guess, of the vinyl somehow expand from the hair in there and it loses some of that red color. So to compensate for that and not have the scalp look white, I put more of the red on the scalp. I've got one baby right here where I had actually painted hair. I'm not real sure if you can see the little tiny hairs. I'll have to take a still of that up closer. And along the hairline here and again right here, I had actually painted hair all the way through the doll's head to use as a guide. I used Genesis and baked it on and was hoping that maybe it would sort of show through the scalp and act like you know, more hair in there. Could have rooted less, but I ended up having to root as much as I normally do. I'm also going to be doing a video on this. Baby also has some little tiny capillaries right here that you paint with a very fine little brush, and for that I also use the same one that I used for the blushing. You might mix a little purple into it if you want to, that eyelid purple, but I prefer to just use the red mostly because you're also going to add some of the eyelid purple. You're going to take a sponge that you're going to cut really small, sort of like I did this other little tiny one that I had made earlier, and you're going to kind of dab it on the eyelids too, since they usually have. This one needs a little bit more on there. And so now we're going to just continue on. As you can see, I already shaded inside her ears. I used a purple and the eyelid purple, and I used some red and come around to all the little creases and stuff behind the ears. And on the face and around the nose. I did put in the lips. The lips is done with very thin paint. With I use Genesis thinner for that, and you use such a tiny dab of paint that it doesn't make them rough at all. And I'll come back after a while and draw the little lines. I do the same kind of little dots along here that I did on the nipples because you also have those little pores. So we're going to just take our little brush and we're going to dab it back in that paint again that I've got all thinned down. And we're going to just start adding it into the creases. So as you can see, I want the one where it gives you the thinnest line. So you hold the brush to where it goes that way. You just keep right on painting. I'm not real sure if you can see this or not. And I add each layer like this. I need to get this doll finished tonight because tomorrow I'm going to show her the rooting on her head. Make another video for that. I also already have one video, but it's very poor quality. My 11-year-old grandson made it, and he seemed to think that it was a lot of fun to zoom in and out and in and out and in and out. So that one needs to be redone. And just like on the other one, if you want to, you can take a brush, maybe a mop brush or something, and just kind of go like this on those little creases. On this particular one, you can see I also added more red on the bottom of the foot. I also added some blue right here where the skin is thinner. You're going to paint in between the creases there. You're going to really brush that out really well. You don't want big globs of paint in between the toes. Make sure you get all the little tiny creases. When I come back, one of the last things I do is I'll take some of the paint thinned way down, and I'll paint around the nails, just like people have that redder cast around your nails there. And then after I get them all set, I'll get a brush that only has one or two strands in it, and I'll paint right around the edge of the nail bed. That makes it look more realistic. As you can see, I've also taken some of the blue that we had added through there and thinned it way down, and kind of put a little bit of blue here and on the side. Just kind of dab it around and get your brush and just really work it like that. And I put a little bit of the purple between here. There's also some blue underneath that. And we haven't done the eyelashes yet, but I usually use a number of just a few threads inside some paints that I've mixed, where I put it's also Genesis. I'll put different browns right there and dab up a little bit, and I'll take a still of this as well and just paint the little tiny hairs right there. This doll, because her eyes are closed, have hair rooted in instead of the glued in eyelashes. But anyway, so let's get back to rooting just a little bit. To painting, then to the creases. I love the little baby's feet and hands. That's the first thing I look at, in their ears. If they don't have nice ears and feet and hands, I don't usually like to buy them. Although I have gotten stuck with some that I didn't like the ears on because you couldn't see them when you bought the kit. I do like Bountiful Baby kits. The majority of them were very nice. Anyway, you just continue on until you've done every single little crease on the baby. And we'll come back to that when we're finished, and I'll show you how it all looks.